Check. Hello and welcome to the final round of the 2023 season of Master Race Cars Rallycross Championship. This is the third season, and tonight it's the finale with the 4-car Rallycross mod class in Live for Speed at Westhill with a custom configuration that we used in, funnily enough, the final round of Season 2. We have 12 cars, I believe, for this round, so a decent turnout for the final race this season. Let's have a look at where we've been. And well, what a fantastic championship we've had this season so far. It's been very, very competitive, and yeah, 5 rounds concluding today at Westhill RX. You can see the track in the background with some practice that was happening earlier. It's going to be a fun one, that's for sure. Let's take a look at the track. Here it is, the 1.6 kilometer 1 mile circuit, which has a few jumps, some tarmac sections, some grass sections. It's got everything you'd want from a Rallycross finale. We're going to have 3 lap heats followed by a 4-lap final, and yeah, we have a lot of cars in each of our heats, which will be nice to see. Let's refresh our memories about the car class we have today. We have the Shanker T16 mod, the Saab 93 T16 4x4, which is approved by Saab itself, the Lemon Ara Coupe T16, and the Fraud Wheeler E2 RX. The drivers can choose to use any of these cars for the competition today. And let's get a look then at the all-important Drivers' Championship standings. We have a pretty clear leader, it has to be said. We have Stephen Bossard leading the way with 74 points, and well, pretty much he has to be in the final, in the A final. If he makes it to the A final, he is pretty well. In fact, if he makes it into any of the finals, he's pretty much won the championship. So hopefully we will see. Well, we'll see how this goes, but if Stephen Bossard makes it to the finals, then we will be crowning him the Season 3 championship today. If not, then there is an outside chance that Teemu Sarkinen or Tim Dicknotter can do it. We are coming up for the first race, the first heat, so let's get a look then at what that heat is going to look like. We are going to have quite a few heats tonight, obviously, of course, and we have some cars on the grid waiting for us to go. Alrighty, the cars are set and ready to go. And they are off already. And in this heat, we have Michael Malik, Carolus Motojutis joins us, Stephen Bossard, Rick Cardle, and Arthur Jackson makes a return to the series after a round hiatus. He wasn't with us last time out, but leading the way, it is Rick Cardle, seasoned newcomer, who is going to be, well, he's going to be flat out pedal to the metal. He showed his hand in other racing series in LFS, namely Roni's Tuesday Fun Race. But let's see what's going on. Oh, we've got a spinner in the background, and it's Stephen Bossard who finds himself up into second place. Michael Malik has dropped all the way to the back. In fact, he does the Joker, so does Arthur Jackson. But leading away at the front, it's Rick Cardle for Sidus. Over the jump he goes into the next part of the lap, which uses part of this car park. It has a jump in the middle, here it is, and then a tight and tricky chicane towards the end of the lap. Stephen Bossard has a new competitor to duel today in the form of Rick Cardle. Carolus Motojutis, new to the series as well, is being tailed by Arthur Jackson and caught quite quickly by Michael Malik as well. Those two have already served their jokers. So Rick Cardle heads on to lap 2, closely followed by championship leader and almost certain champion if he makes it through his 3 heats, Stephen Bossard, the number 12. Bossard is going into the Joker now. And out he comes and rejoins into P number 2. Motojutis already served his Joker. We just caught the end of it, and he rejoins. I think he joined behind. Stephen Bossard, so he returns into P3. No, he's at the back. Sorry. So Carolus joins back at the back of the grid, and we're on the final lap already. Rick Cardle putting up lots and lots of dust as he heads on to the second long run down to the third sector here. This is a tricky corner into a tightening chicane, a little flick and he's through. Doesn't have to do the Joker. There's a few speed bumps there which will throw you out. Oh, in fact, he does do the Joker. There he goes. off to finish the lap, and it looks like he's managed to come out in front. Yes, he has, off Stephen Bossard by only a couple of tenths. Close as you like, but it's going to be a good debut then for Rick Cardle if he can make it around the final corner and through the chicane cleanly. Nice chicane that. It's really, really difficult. You've got to get the jump out of the way and have the car lined up perfectly for the next corner. Over the final jump he goes, one chicane to go, and across the line to win Heat 1. It's Rick Cardle, closely followed by Stephen Bossard, just 8 tenths of a second. Next it's Arthur Jackson, then Michael Malik, and across the line Carolus Motojutis will take home P5 in the first heat. Well, that was pretty frantic as heat races go, but let's get the results. Rick Cardle wins in 3 minutes 2:99, a fastest lap of 57.92. Stephen Bossard in P2, Arthur Jackson P3, Michael Malik P4, and Carolus Motojutis at the back on his debut again in P5. All right. Well, I think we're going to have a second heat pretty soon. So before we show that, we are going to have a look very quickly at the remaining grids for Heat 1. Next up is going to be Roni Krompush, Fabian Paler, Rafael Costa, and Teemu Sarkkinen. Here we go then for the grid. Our cars are ready. We have Roni Krompush, Fabian Paler, Rafael Costa, and Teemu Sarkkinen. Here they go, and it's a good start from all four of them as we head up towards the first jump. Over they go. Roni Krompush on the inside there. Teemu Sarkkinen cuts from the outside to the inside and might have done everybody in that one little move. Very, very nice. Yes, he does in fact have a nose ahead as we head through the second set of corners, but it is Fabian Paler who is in a sprint race against Sarkkinen, but he's clipped the lamppost, or has he been tagged by another driver? I think he's been tagged by a driver, and that sends him to the back. Not an ideal start for him. Sarkkinen clean away at the front. Krompush and Costa go into the Joker and are out, and Fabian Paler then gets promoted to P2 and has to put the hammer down. He's got to make up some time now to try and catch up to the back of Sarkkinen, who is on screen now and making his way to the end of the lap. Just one jump and a chicane to go for Sarkkinen. There he goes. Lovely stuff. It's a good start. That very, very lovely switchback at the beginning of the race is just what he needed to start his final round. Rafael Costa also with a decent start. Goes through the chicane and up over the ramp. Nice flick into turn one. And smoothly does it. There he goes. Roni Krompush following closely behind, but Teemu Sarkkinen is our leader in this one, the second race of Heat 1. And this track has got a lot of chicanes in it, two of which are fairly straightforward, but one of the other ones is quite tricky, and it's coming up now. Sarkkinen does the Joker, comes out just behind Fabian Paler. So Fabian Paler has his work cut out. He's got to dig deep on this, the remainder of this lap and the next lap. Here's the tricky chicane I was talking about. You kind of come up this ramp and then straight into the opposite direction. A bit of a correction there for Fabian, so not ideal. As we then have, Teemu Sarkkinen, he's going to want to stick in the dust of Fabian, not let him get away, and so that he can secure himself victory in this heat. Fastest lap going the way of Paler. Sarkkinen disrupting his chances of that just yet because he did the Joker. But let's watch Fabian Paler on this lap. Let's see if he can open up the gap enough to make the jump on Teemu Sarkkinen. Here he comes up to this tricky chicane that put him out of sorts on the first lap. Cleanly through this time when he's got no one around him, but Sarkkinen has closed up quite considerably. Paler goes into the Joker. Sarkkinen swings through. And Sarkkinen's on his way to heat victory here in Heat 1. Number 69, just a couple of corners to go. Again, a little bit of a correction. Not the smoothest of apexes, that one. Tricky corner coming up over the jump. No corrections necessary for Sarkkinen. That will do nicely. Rafael Costa hasn't managed to catch up to Paler either, so Paler, after being at the back, has made good work of the rest of the field, but not enough to dethrone Sarkinen, who takes the win in his first heat. Then it'll be Fabian Paler, Rafael Costa, and after a little bit of a pause, Roni Krompusch joins them on the finishing order. So a nice heat that from Sarkinen and Paler, but it's Sarkinen who takes the win in 3 minutes 5. Paler 2 seconds behind, and Krompusch leads out Costa. Fabian Paler, a fastest lap of a 58.78, so not the fastest heat we've seen so far. But let's see what happens in race 3. The grid for race 3 will see one fewer cars. The same number of cars as that heat, but one fewer than the first heat. We've got Tim de Knodde, Daniel Lundqvist, Yassin Badal, and Robin Nilsson. Here we go for the third race of tonight's proceedings. Jonathan Palmer on race control is pressing the buttons behind the scenes to get us rolling nice and quickly. We appreciate NDR's support, certainly in this championship. And as the drivers are lining up on the grid, it is a good start from all the drivers. Slightly slower start from Tim de Knodde, who is edged out there by Yassin Badal. Yassin had a bit of a problem with his internet last time out, but it seems so far, touch wood, to be okay. And he tucks into the slipstream of Tim de Knodde. So hopefully that is the end of Yassin's king woes, as he's in a straight fight now with our reigning champion. Unfortunately, it does look like Tim de Knodde won't be hoisting the trophy. Oh, as I said, Yassin lags a little bit and spins out of his own accord there. And we've got a car in the Joker. That is, who's in there? That is Nilsson, who is serving the Joker. And Yassin Badal, well, goes from second all the way to last with a lot of work to do now as Tim de Knodde heads up over the tricky jump chicane thing, closely followed by Daniel Lundqvist. And as we head through to finish the first lap, Tim de Knodde has quite the lead now. This is going to be a 4-second lead or something like that when they come across start-finish. 3.6 at the timing line. I may have jinxed Badal somewhat. He is currently lagging, so bad to see that, I guess. But he is back, but he's having some trouble. Lundqvist now 4.2 seconds behind. It looks like Tim de Knodde's got this track down to a T. He is doing very, very nicely. Nilsson is still ahead of Badal, even though he's done his Joker, so he'll be pretty happy with that, I assume. And let's see, no, Tim de Knodde's already gone past the Joker. He hasn't done it. So too has Daniel Lundqvist. Will Badal go for the Joker? No, he won't. So 3 of our drivers are leaving it to the final lap of this heat to do their Jokers. Let's keep an eye on Badal and see. Oh, a little bit of a lag, but no matter. Nilsson won't be enjoying seeing that in his rearview mirror, but needs to get a wriggle on to stay out of trouble. As the number 92 of Nilsson's currently clinging on to third place. Final lap then has begun for Tim de Knodde, who sets the fastest lap of this heat. And well, let's just see how he copes towards the end of this race. Tricky chicane coming up, you head onto the grass, and you've got to get the car slowed down as you head into this semi-tarmac section. Touches the apex, no such problems over this tricky curb, and then he's got to spot his braking for the Joker. Bit slow on the entry, but it's good enough, and he will return in the lead comfortably. Daniel Lundqvist enters the Joker, but where is Nilsson? Nilsson is out just behind Lundqvist. And where is Yassin Badal? Yassin Badal serves the Joker and is, well, somewhere in the ether currently. As we head to the final jump then, it's Tim de Knodde, the number 1, but not for much longer, unfortunately. Across the line, he will be coming to set a blistering heat pace, 3 minutes 2. That's easily the fastest heat that we've had. And as the other cars eventually make their way across start finish, that's Lundqvist followed by Nilsson and Badal. We have our results. So let's quickly run through the order, and that concludes Heat 1 for tonight's action. Tim de Knodde in 3 minutes 2.96, posting a fastest lap of a 57.81, sets his sights on the A final firmly today. Daniel Lundqvist in P2, 9 seconds back, a huge margin. Then it's Nilsson and Badal rounding out the 4 drivers in this heat. Let's have a look then at the heats, the grids for heat number 2. We're going to have Robin Nilsson, Michael Malik, Roni Krompush, Karolis Motojutis, and Yasin Bidal. They were the slowest drivers from Heat 1. They will compete with each other in the first race of Heat 2. And in race 2 of Heat 2, we're going to have Fabian Paler, Costa, Jackson, and Lundqvist. And then Tim Dicknodder, Rick Cardle, Stephen Bossard, and Timo Sarkkinen, the fastest 4 drivers from the first heat, will battle it out together in race number 3. So Heat 2 will begin momentarily. This is the first, of course, of 3 heats today before we hit the finals later on. And just a reminder that Stephen Bossard only needs to be in a final, and he will be this season's champion. All right then. Stephen Bossard will be eagerly awaiting his heat. He'll have to watch 2 races before he can settle down in his car and try and bring home a victory against Rick Cardle. Rick Cardle was the driver who set the pace in race 1, but it was Tim Dicknodder who registered the fastest overall heat time from Heat 1, a 3-minute 2:96, 3/100ths of a second faster than Rick Cardle. That's how close those races were. Tim Dicknodder is doing very, very nicely in this final round of our 5-round Rallycross Championship, presented by Sim Broadcasts, sanctioned by New Dimension Racing, and organised by the Master Race Car team, and Tim Dicknodder at the helm of that effort. Roni Krompush in Roni Krompush style is doing donuts on the grid, getting prepared in some way for his next race. Here we go then for race 1 of Heat 2. Bit of a hold while the grids were set. And we have Robin Nilsson, Michael Malik, Roni Krompush, Karolis Motojutis, and Yasin Bidal. And we are away for the start of this one. And it is Robin Nilsson who gets a good start at the front. Michael Malik pushing him around the corner. Yasin Bidal taking a wide line. Michael Malik slips up into P2. Oh, Yasin runs into the back of Michael, and that will drop him all the way to the back, as it does behind Roni Krompush. And it's a good start then from Nilsson, the opposite of what happened in his first race. And Michael Malik then is on a bit of a charge as Roni goes through the Joker, and he will emerge at the back behind Yasin Bidal. Nilsson then is leading this one quite comfortably just now. Tight apex there, as we've got, who was that flying around in the background? That was Motojutis. And we've got a bit of a problem again, it looks, for Yassin Bidal, who has completely disappeared. So, yeah, it's not comfortable to see a car kind of... There we go, and that's what we're worried about. In the background, Yassin Bidal spawning inside Carlos Motojutis, and that writes both of them out of the heat. That is really disappointing to see. Well, I don't know what to say about that one, unfortunately. Yeah, as Bidal leaves the race. Nilsson. Oh, and Michael Malik's tagged the barrier. He's tagged one of the barriers that sticks out from the steps here, and he has to wait as Krompush comes through. So very dramatic lap so far. Nilsson's having a pretty clean race right now, as Michael Malik has driven into a part of the track paraphernalia on his own. And Nilsson has done the Joker and come out well ahead of Krompush. So clean from him. Motojutis then with that damaged car. Well, you've got a feel for him. He didn't know where Bidal was. Bidal just spawned inside him. That's very, very unlucky. We'll wait to see whether Bidal will be allowed to take any further part in this round. I would suspect not after that. Motojutis, well, I feel for him, honestly, because he couldn't have done anything about that. So there we go. Michael Malik is also kind of struggling in a broken car, but I don't have much sympathy for Michael because he did it all on his own. So a little bit unlucky, but not the he wanted either. Dream start for Nilsson in this one, and he just has to get a pretty fast time in this heat, and he could secure himself a spot in the A final if it's good enough. He's already done his Joker, so just a bit of a trundle round really to the final. Couple of corners. It's Ronnie Krompush who's setting the pace actually in this heat. He's got the fastest lap, but he's a couple of seconds behind our heat leader. Here he comes over the jump. Bit of a flick of opposite direction. And yep, just one straight, a jump and a chicane to go for Robin Nilsson, the number 92. Here he goes. Pops over the jump. No drama at all. Just the final chicane to go. Here he comes to win the first race of Heat 2. Ronnie Krompush, well, he'll be happy to have finished P2. Was it a fast time? It's a 3-minute 12.6 time for him, so not ideal. But there we go. We're having a long wait for, I believe it's going to be, who is that? That is Motojutis coming across the line in third place. So after that almighty crash with Bidal, he finishes P3, and then Michael Malik comes across the line in P4. So Yassin Bidal will be registered as a DNF from that one. And let's take a look then at the final graphics for that. Robin Nilsson in 3 minutes 8 and the fastest lap of 1 minute 1. So not the fastest heat we've seen by any stretch, but a heat win nonetheless for the number 92. Then it's Krompush, Motojutis, Malik and Bidal with a DNF, 3 laps down. The next race, race 2 of Heat 2, will be between Fabian Paler, Rafael Costa, Arthur Jackson and Daniel Lundqvist, coming up in a moment's time. Here we go then for the next race. We have on the grid Fabian Paler, Rafael Costa, Arthur Jackson and Daniel Lundqvist. Here they are. Bit of a hold and we are green. It's a good start for Lundqvist. He's straight out of the blocks and edges out Fabian Paler. He's on the outside and we've got contact in the middle. That's Arthur Jackson spinning out wide at the back. Rafael Costa drops to third place and it's Fabian Paler who leads out of the first corner. Side by side coming to blows. Lundqvist and Costa has to avoid the barrier that Michael Malik hit and that drops him way to the back. So not ideal for Costa at all. And well, Paler's had a dream start, but let's see. Oh goodness me, as that was Lundqvist going straight into the Joker. Costa also doing the Joker, there he is. but Fabian Paler, well, just needs to focus forward, and he might have a heat race in the bag. Arthur Jackson over the jump, Lundqvist following through, and at the back it's Rafael Costa. Fabian Paler leading comfortably ahead of Arthur Jackson. Neither of our top two have done the Joker yet, but they have a big enough gap, I would say, over Lundqvist and Costa. Paler is absolutely in control here. And he will do his Joker on the final lap. Doesn't elect to do it on this attempt, but there we go. Arthur Jackson through. And will he be clear of Lundqvist? No, he won't. Lundqvist manages to pass him. So a nice lap there for Lundqvist, quite wide of the apex. Gets it back. And then just a lap to go for these guys. One straight in a chicane for Paler. And let's see what that looks like from the driver's perspective. It's not much of an event, but then you have to get the car settled down for that jump. Straight on the brakes, tiny bit of tarmac, then some more grass, then another bit of tarmac. So lots going on, lots of changes of surface for the drivers to worry about today. And onto the final lap for Paler then. Number 13. Tricky chicane. Plenty of drivers getting this wrong, avoiding the apexes nicely. And then into the Joker we go. Will there be any competition from any of the cars behind, I wonder, as he exits out of here? Doesn't look like it. It looks like Lundqvist is going to have to settle for second on this occasion, but it's getting pretty close. Arthur Jackson there is closing him down, but not close enough yet to effect a pass. Final couple of corners for Paler in what will be surely a heat win here. Nice and easy over the jump. And the action looks like it's going to be going off in the background. Across the line for the win comes Paler, but in the end Lundqvist is clear enough of Arthur Jackson to make it P2. Then coming across in P4, it's Costa at the back. After that slightly wobbly start, it has to be said, to his race. There we are then, the race results. 3 minutes 4.4. Fastest lap for Paler of 58.48. Lundqvist in P2, then Arthur Jackson in P3 rounding out the podium, and then Costa in P4. Well, we're going to be straight into the third race of Heat 2. That'll be contested between Tim Ducknodder, Rick Cardle, Stephen Bossard and Teemu Sarkkinen, the four fastest finishers from Heat 1. Here we go. Tim Ducknodder on the right, then it's Rick Cardle. Then it's Stephen Bossard and Teemu Sarkkinen on the left. They spool up those turbos and we are off. And it's a good start from all four of these guys. Let's see who leads into turn one. It's slightly going to be Tim Ducknodder who noses ahead, and Rick Cardle and Stephen Bossard go side by side, but Stephen Bossard has muscled his way through. Rick almost lost it, but Bossard has made it through, and if he finishes this race, I'm pretty sure he will be crowned champion. Doesn't matter what anyone else does, as the two cars behind head into the Joker. That's Tim Ducknodder and Rick Cardle into the Joker. Teemu Sarkkinen will have to push now if he wants to make the jump on those two when he does his Joker lap. But it's currently Stephen Bossard on his way to Season 3 champion. But he has to finish this race cleanly. He has to finish it, and he has to finish it with style. One lap down, almost. And, well, let's see. Can Sarkkinen challenge him for the overall victory in this race? We will have to wait and see. Stephen Bossard into turn one. Nice tight apex. Sarkkinen with a slightly different line. In fact, a wildly different line. Quite wide. Tightening up towards the exit. Nicely done. But it's Stephen Bossard. Set unbelievable pace in his first heat with Rick, but it looks like he's got the better of him just now. Rick Cardle is all the way at the back. He's not had a good heat so far. Tim Ducknodder's holding him up quite a bit. And, well, Tim himself is driving a nice heat as well. But Sarkkinen is, well, dropping back, it seems, from our leader at the moment, Stephen Bossard. Doesn't do the Joker, so we'll do it on his final lap. And, well, he's got this all hooked up, doesn't he? He looks really, really comfortable. And, well, this is what the final couple of corners look like. Slightly unsighted as we head through those trees there, but then it widens out to this final jump. Just a smooth landing is what you need. Point the car at the small gap that makes up the final chicane, and across the line. Oh, such a tight line into the first corner for Stephen Bossard. A lot of the other drivers elect to go slightly wider, give themselves a little bit more leeway, but Stephen Bossard doesn't need any leeway. He is clean as a whistle through there. Nice and tight means nice and smooth. And as we head into the first chicane, it's another nice entry, another nice exit, nice and clean. Joker time for Bossard. Let's see if it's good enough to outmaneuver the cars behind. Sarkkinen also into the Joker. Where is Tim Dicknotter? Tim Dicknotter's through, and Sarkkinen is down to P3. Or is it even P4? Rick Cardle's going to be on the inside of Sarkkinen. And through for now. Sarkkinen get him on the exit. Oh no, he runs into the back of him. So it's to the back for Sarkkinen. An unusual heat for him. It's unusual to see Sarkkinen at the back. But alas, we've got a pretty competitive heat here. But it doesn't matter. None of this was a challenge, really, for Stephen Bossard, who, as he heads over the start-finish line, we can almost certainly crown as champion now. We'll crown him at the end of the event, but he's done everything he needs to do. He's won another heat race in the MRC RX Championship in Season 3. He is our provisional champion. We will crown him at the end, of course, once he finishes the finals. But it is Tim Dicknotter who comes across the line in P2. He will hand the championship over to Stephen Bossard at the end of this round. Rick Cardle came across the line in P3, Sarkkinen in P4. Full classification of those race results then. There they are, 3 minutes to another blisteringly fast heat for these guys, and it was Stephen Bossard this time winning ahead of Tim Dicknotter and Heat 1 winner Rick Cardle. Teemu Sarkkinen in P4. So in the end, Stephen Bossard showing us all what he is made of. Fastest lap at 57.5, absolutely epic. That's it for Heat 2. We await the grids for Heat 3. Three minutes until the third heat, but we do have some grids to show you for our final heat. Here they are. So we're going to have Rafael Costa versus Roni Krompusch, Karolis Motojutis, Michael Malik, and Yassin Bidal in race number 1. Then we've got Fabian Paler, Daniel Lundqvist, Arthur Jackson, and Robin Nilsson in race 2. And then it will be Stephen Bossard up against Tim Dicknotter, Rick Cardle, and Teemu Sarkkinen in race number 3. Just under a minute to go before we have our first race of Heat 3. Reminder, it's going to be Rafael Costa versus Roni Krompusch, Karolis Motojutis, Michael Malik and Yasin Badal. We think Yasin has switched to a different connection. We're going to see if that holds up any better than it did in the previous two heats. Hopefully it's more solid. And if it isn't, the race control are going to end his race there, so that he doesn't cause any more incidents if it gets worse. But hopefully not. Hopefully he can have a good heat and potentially climb his way up through the finals. So race 1 of Heat 3 is coming up right now. Here we go. So on the grid we have Rafael Costa, Roni Krompusch, Karolis Motojutis, Michael Malik and Yasin Badal. Pulling up those turbos again. Motojutis in the middle, not a great start. It was a good start from Yasin Badal yet again. He's good at those starts. He's on the outside though. It hasn't worked in the favour of many drivers, and he's already been shoved off wide. That was a bit of a concertina from everybody else. Costa also losing out, and it's Krompusch who's fighting at the front, but it's Michael Malik in the end who takes over the lead. Oh, goodness me, narrowly avoiding that barrier again. He almost succumbed to it again. Unbelievable. Well, he's through the first chicane. Roni Krompusch is a bit wild, and that's going to give a bit of a sniff to Motojutis, who says thank you very much and swings through. None of the drivers except Badal choosing to do the Joker on lap 1, and Krompusch has gone really deep. Oh, and he's gone into 2 cars there. Costa, well, I'm not sure what he was trying to do there, but Krompusch slowed himself up with Motojutis, and yeah, Costa just tagged the back of Krompusch when Krompusch had that collision. But it's Michael Malik right now who's leading. He's only won one heat race this season so far, but he's in the right place if he wants to try and win this one. Let's see what he can manage. He's coming under some pressure from Motojutis. Motojutis is no slouch, but this is, as far as I know, it is his first race in this year's Rallycross Championship races as we head through chicane number 1. And again, these drivers getting pretty up close and personal with those red and white barriers that are littered around this racetrack. But who is going to do the Joker this time round? Neither of the top two. Will Roni blink? Yes, he does. Roni goes into the Joker. Who will he come out next to? Well, let's have a look. Oh, pretty wide. And he comes out behind Badal. Where is Costa? Costa's in the Joker, and he's quite a way behind. So even away behind even more for Costa. Here it is, Michael Malik versus Motojutis at the front. Motojutis is edging ever closer. Bit of a wide line, it has to be said, over the final jump. Up into 5th gear. Pulls 6th gear. Through the final chicane, we're going on to the final lap. And it's fastest lap. Advantage to Karolis Motojutis on pace. But he's got to get through. Michael Malik, if he wants any chance of getting a heat win on his debut in the series. Tobis, number 34. Last lap motorsport driver. Seen them in Live for Speed for a number of years, but still holding the LLM flag aloft is Karolis Motojutis. Oh, and it's a disaster in the Joker for these two. Malik's got it wrong. Motojutis had nowhere to go, crashes into the back of him, and somehow, even after that, they both emerged from the Joker ahead of Yasin Badal. Well, they can thank their lucky stars. That was unbelievable. And Michael Malik, well, he is lucky. He's one lucky boy there. Not only did he cause a collision with Motojutis, who basically was blameless in that one. He didn't have anywhere to go, but he comes out in the lead. Will it be enough? Motojutis has got a good line. I think Malik's got it tied up. He's going to get another heat win. It was scruffy, but it's enough. Michael Malik wins in, well, I was going to say style, but he'd rather let himself down on that final lap, I have to say. Michael Malik wins 3 minutes 10 ahead of Motojutis, Krompusch, Badal, and Costa. Well, what a lucky boy! I'm sure you'll agree with me. That was a scrappy end to the race, but there we go. 3 minutes 10 for Michael. Motojutis 2 tenths behind in the end. He was gaining at the line, but it wasn't enough to get his first heat race win in the series. Then it's Krompusch, Badal, and Rafael Costa. These guys probably will start in the C final. This was one of the slower heats that we've had. Lots and lots of drama. And we're going to go straight into race 2 of Heat 3. That's going to be between Fabian Paler, Daniel Lundqvist, Arthur Jackson, and Robin Nilsson. Here comes that race. The drivers are ready. We've got Paler on the right, Lundqvist on the middle right, Jackson, then Nilsson, and they're away cleanly. The inside seems to have had the advantage, so Fabian Paler, perfectly placed, makes a really tight line. Lundqvist's going to tag him, but it kind of helps him round the corner. Lundqvist has kind of driven into the side of Paler there, bumped him along, and secured himself P2. Arthur Jackson in 3 and Nilsson at the back. And Paler already opening a small gap to the cars behind. Really nice start again for him. Is it yet another heat race victory that he wants? I'm sure it is. And it's all 2 cars into the Joker. Lundqvist followed by Jackson. Paler and Nilsson stay out and occupy P1 and 2 at the moment. But yeah, another great start from Paler. He had the inside line. He used it to maximum effect. Lundqvist decided he wanted to go into the Joker early, and he's done a car there. He's done Arthur Jackson. I can see him just on the inside. There he is. But he's managed to make it stick. Blocks the inside. Jackson has nowhere to go. And these two are holding each other up. That is for sure. Paler, amazing lap. Great start to this one. Nilsson, well, he's doing the chasing and needs to open a gap to those 2 behind, who I think are just coming into a bit of a squabble. Lundqvist, not the cleanest jump in the world, and he's definitely got Jackson for company now. There's more contact between the 2, and well, that is going to be slowing them both down. They went into the Joker together, and that's what happens. You end up being on track together when you emerge. Will Paler do the Joker? No such luck. Will Nilsson do the Joker? Yes, he will. This will be crucial then. Where does he come out in relation to Lundqvist and Jackson? He'll come out miles ahead. There he goes, as Lundqvist eats his dust. Lundqvist has got his own set of problems. He's got Arthur Jackson to worry about. Nilsson wide. No problem. No problem at all. But Fabian Paler, look at this. He's got an absolute massive advantage. While the other cars are on the first jump, he's already going over the final jump. You can't even see them in the background. They're that far behind. Paler onto the final lap. And this to put himself as far up in the A final as he possibly can. Let's see what he can manage. First chicane dispatched. 3/4 of the lap to go. Avoiding those barriers on this run down to the second chicane. It's a tricky one, that, but he's got it nice and clean. Final Joker of the heats for Paler. And it's clean. It's quite difficult to see from that camera angle, but it is clean as we head through to the final couple of corners. And it's all into Fabian Paler's hands. It's Nilsson who is in P2 at the moment. Then it's Lundqvist and Arthur Jackson, who sends one up the inside. Oh, narrowly avoids tagging the back of Lundqvist. He's trying. He's digging deep, but it's not enough. It's not enough for even P3 in this race. Paler is going to take P1. Just the chicane to go for him. Then it's Nilsson if he can get a clean couple of... Oh, that wasn't clean at all. We just get a glimpse of Paler crossing start-finish. But it's going to be close. No, it's not in the end. Nilsson takes P2, Lundqvist P3, and Arthur Jackson P4. All right, our race results for that one are as follows. It's Fabian Paler in 3 minutes 2. Another very, very fast time. Very, very fast heat completion time for Paler. Fastest lap of 57.69. Nilsson in P2, Lundqvist P3, and Arthur Jackson in P4. They've come at you thick and fast again tonight, but no rest for the wicked. Grid 3 will be between the fastest drivers from the first 2 heats combined. Stephen Bossard, Tim Dicknotter, Rick Cardle, and Teemu Sarkinen. Here we go then. The final heat race of tonight's action, and it is a very nice start from all of our drivers. It's Stephen Bossard who gets away nicely and has the inside line, the crucial, critical inside line. Oh, but he's being nudged round by Rick Cardle. That gives Teemu Sarkinen a bit of a chance. In fact, he is. He's through. Tim Dicknotter looking to fight with Rick Cardle. He does, in fact, get past Rick Cardle. So after all of that, Rick lost a lot of time, drops to the back, and it's Stephen Bossard with another brilliant start to the heats. And Rick and Tim are going into the Joker together. They're going to Oh, and Rick's gone wide. He's into the Armco. That gives Tim a bit of a breather, but not clean at all. It's gone from very, very great in the first heat to not very good at all in the last heat for Rick Cardle. So not the event he wanted at all so far. He needs to consolidate some time and try and get into a high final if he wants any chance of progressing through the finals tonight. As we head over the final jump for lap 1, it is Stephen Bossard who edges out Teemu Sarkkinen. And again, a very, very tight line from Stephen Bossard. Sarkkinen closing up in the latter stages, not letting him rest, really. The gap is not significant at the moment as we come up to the Joker for the second time. The chicane, he makes easy work. It doesn't look as difficult from that camera angle, but it's pretty tricky as Bossard does not go through the Joker. Sarkkinen also not taking the Joker lap, wanting to stick in Stephen Bossard's rearview mirror. He doesn't want to give him any rest. Wants to remind him that he's there, remind him that he's chasing his heels. Sarkkinen has had a very, very strong Rallycross Championship season, but no one so far has been able to shine so much as a light to Stephen Bossard. Another fantastic lap comes to a close, and after the final chicane, it is 1 to go for our championship leader and provisional champion. Again, a very, very tight line. None of the other drivers are taking such a tight line into turn 1. That's where Stephen Bossard's experience comes into play, and you can see that he has opened up the gap to Sarkkinen on the final couple of corners there. These two have to serve their Joker. They are leagues ahead of Ducknodder and Cardle. Those two are scrapping in the background as into the Joker comes the number 12, as does the number 69 of Teemu Sarkkinen. And are they out clear and ahead? Yes, they are. Tim Ducknodder will rejoin in P3. Cardle still battling for P3 with Ducknodder as Bossard rounds the final twisty set of corners, and then it's just a straight shoot to the finish. Over the final jump comes Stephen Bossard to secure his place surely in the A final. At the top of the A final potentially, Stephen Bossard wins his second heat of the day, heat number 3, and then across the line come the final 3 drivers, Sarkkinen, Ducknodder and Cardle. A very quick heat from these guys, even though there was a lot of fighting, a lot of action. Let's get those results on screen. There we go. Bossard in 3 minutes 2:11, another blisteringly fast heat time for him. Then it's Sarkkinen, Ducknodder and Cardle. Fastest lap of 57.52 for Bossard. Now, between the heats and the final, we are going to do something a bit different. We are going to have a £12 LFS voucher draw, courtesy of Master Race Cars Ricky Rashitska. He is going to do a random number generator, and one of the drivers in the server today, one of our 12 or 13 drivers, is going to win that £12 voucher to spend on servers or skins, or as a voucher for someone else if they want to give away a license. Yeah, he's going to read out the number in my ear, and I'm going to relay who the winner of our £12 LFS voucher draw is. Reminder that has been generously, that competition is being run by Ricky Rashitska of MRC. And yeah, this is just going to be between the drivers, and we will hear about that at some point between the heats and the finals. Okay, Rick has done the draw in the background. This is a competition between all of the drivers in the server currently, and Rick has done the draw, and the winner of our £12 LFS voucher is the number 92 of Robin Nilsson. So congrats to him. He wins a £12 voucher courtesy of MRC's Rick Rashitska. He's currently driving around the track, so I wonder if he's heard us. I'm sure one of the drivers or one of the people on the server are going to relay that to him. But congrats to Robin Nilsson. I believe this is his first outing in the championship, and well, he's the lucky winner of a £12 LFS voucher. Thanks to Ricky for that. Just a minute or so to go before we do the finals, and I believe we have some grids to show for that. The finals, as a reminder, are the combined two combined fastest race times, and it does seem as though we have a pole sitter, Stephen Bossard. His two combined best heat finishes were 6 minutes 4 seconds .57. Fabian Paler a couple of seconds behind that. Then it's Tim McNodder, Rick Cardle and Timu Sarkin, and that is our A final. They will be joined by either Robin Nilsson, our £12 LFS voucher winner, Daniel Lundqvist, Arthur Jackson, Rafael Costa, Michael Malek, and joining them could be one of either Roni Krompush, Karolis Motojutis or Yasin Bidal. So just a reminder, the C final will happen first. The winner of that will progress to the B final, and the winner of the B final will progress to make a 6-car A final, when we will be able to crown Stephen Bossard as our series champion. Here we go. The C final is coming up right now. Thank you for your patience, and thank you for joining us on Sim Broadcasts for this one. Just a reminder that we really appreciate all of the support that you guys give us on the channel, and we'll be very, very grateful if you would like and comment or subscribe on our channel on YouTube when this video hits there. You can also follow or subscribe to our channel on Twitch. And if you like what you see tonight, you can pick yourself up a copy of the LFS demo. We would massively appreciate that. So here comes the final for these three drivers, the C final, contested between Roni Krompush, Karolis Motojutis and Yasin Bidal, and it's go. Separated over 2 rows. It's a good start from Yasin, actually. He's managed to get alongside Roni, and well, Roni on the inside then. Oh, but it's not a good exit. It's Motojutis who's managed to get the nose ahead, and that leaves Yasin and Krompush to scrap in the background, and Yasin's got through, and Roni's hit that barrier, the barrier that's caught out Michael Malek a couple of times. Roni has come into contact with it, and he won't enjoy that at all. It's a recovery drive from the second corner pretty much for him, and that leaves Motojutis and Bidal to scrap it out at the front. A good start so far from Motojutis, who is enjoying his first round of this championship, as Krompush does the Joker as well, so he gets all of the complication out of the way straight away and has a straight drive to the finish. Reminder that the finals are 4 laps, heats for 3 laps. We have an extra lap in the finals, and well, more time for Yasin Bidal to close up on the back of Motojutis. Motojutis and Bidal going very, very wide in contrast to the line that our current leader and provisional champion Stephen Bossard took, and just giving away time a little bit. We head through to the final part of the lap. Oh, and Bidal's tagged the barrier. He's tagged the entry quite hard. That slowed him down massively out of the chicane. Chooses not to do the Joker. Neither does Motojutis. And that might play into the hands of Roni Krompush. Roni Krompush actually is only just coming round to the Joker himself. And, well, it's not clear cut yet whether Bidal will end up ahead or behind, but I have a sneaking suspicion that that contact with the barrier is not going to be enough for Roni to get P2 in the C final. Remember, the winner of this goes through to the B final. It looks like Motojutis is on his way there. So a bit of redemption after a less than ideal debut. As, well, a nice sideways entry into turn 1. It looks good, but is it going to be good enough? As he heads over the sector line through the first chicane and out onto this run, avoiding those barriers on the outside. You don't want to hit those. We've seen plenty of evidence as to why you don't want to do that. Steady he goes through the chicane. And just a couple of corners left on the lap as Bidal heads through the Joker. Now, let's see, is Krompusch anywhere near? No, he's not. He's not even close. So Bidal will pick up P2. There goes Roney past the exit of the Joker. You can see the dirt being kicked up by Bidal ahead. That is an indication that Roney, he's going to have to settle for last place if he can't close up in the next lap. So across the final jump, Carolus Motojutis just one lap away from a spot in the B final. But he has to do the Joker. The Joker is really, really important. He can't afford to mess it up. We have a few cars that have messed up the Joker. We've had a few cars that have messed up the next corner. Let's see if Motojutis is out cleanly. Yes, he is. No drama at all. And Bidal looks to be cleanly ahead of Krompusch. Yes, he is, by about 3.5 seconds almost. And into the Joker goes Motojutis. He's going to be out in really clean air. There he goes. No one around to get in his way. Nice sound that this car makes as he picks his line into the penultimate jump of the lap. Tricky set of corners this, all on grass. Unsighted exit to this corner. Blind apex as well. As we head over the final jump, it is going to be the C final victory and promotion to the B final for Carolus Motojutis, the number 34. Comes across the line, followed by Yasin Bidal, whose heat ends here. And Roney Krompusch also has to settle for defeat in the C final. Well, it's not been a good championship for Roney Krompusch, but we really appreciate him joining in and beefing out our grids here. It's great to see those guys competing every week. We really, really appreciate it. But there we go. There are full confirmation of our C final results. It's Motojutis who will be promoted. Then it's Bidal and Krompusch whose evenings end there, unfortunately. We have an update for our grids for our final. There we are. Carolus Motojutis' name has been added to the B final, which will be contested between Robin Nilsson, our £12 LFS voucher winner, Daniel Lundqvist, Arthur Jackson, Rafael Costa, Michael Malik, and Carolus Motojutis. Here comes that race. And we have a grid. It has 6 cars on it, which is nice to see. Michael Malik on the back row with Carolus Motojutis, our C final winner. Middle row, it's Rafael Costa and Arthur Jackson. And on the front row, we've got Nilsson and Lundqvist, and we're away. And it's a good start from Nilsson. He's been G'd on by the drivers after winning that voucher, and takes a well-deserved lead into turn 1. That was nice. And here he's going to be cleanly away. No issue in the background for him, but certainly an issue for some other drivers, as we almost get 3 wide between Motojutis, Lundqvist and Malik. And Motojutis is up to P3. He's got Malik and Lundqvist scrapping behind him, Costa in the background, but it's cleanly away for Nilsson, Arthur Jackson in the Joker, as well as Lundqvist. And Motojutis, well, he's making quick work of Michael Malik. Michael sends one up the inside, but he's not going to be a challenge. Motojutis can focus on our current leader, Nilsson. We haven't had it very often, but will we be seeing our C final winner promoted to the A final, I wonder? That was not a comfortable corner for him at all. Michael Malik sneaking one up the inside, and they can't go too wide through here, surely. No, Motojutis cuts in behind, and it's Malik into P2. Motojutis in P3 with a tighter line. Michael's completely botched that. He's gone way too deep. He's handed the inside to Motojutis and Costa. And, well, he has some momentum. Oh, goodness me. Costa runs into the back of Lundqvist. That hands the pace back to Malik. And Malik does the sensible thing. Breaks out of it. And, well, gives up some time to Motojutis. Malik and Costa go into the Joker together. Side by side. This time, Malik doesn't cause any headaches. Well, he does cause a bit of a headache for Costa, holding him up slightly, but much cleaner Joker that time from Michael Malik. He will have been paying special attention to make sure he didn't make the same mistake twice. as round to the final jump comes Nilsson comfortably in the lead. Motojutis in P2, yet to serve his joker as well as our leader. But it's a big gap. It's a big gap. Nilsson is doing everything he needs to do to be promoted to the A final right now. Good momentum with him, the number 92. I have a sneaking suspicion he was very unlucky actually to miss out on the A final. He had some good heats, but he's doing everything he needs to do right now to get that spot, as Motojutis has to dig deep. He has a 4.5 second deficit to Nilsson, so a lot of work to do if he wants to get into the A final. Chances of that are disappearing rather quickly. Costa has hit the apex of the chicane, and well, it's not been a particularly good round for Costa either. He's currently last place in this heat, and looks as though his event is going to end here. But as Costa comes over the final jump, he has just 1 lap left to secure his place in the A final. He's so far ahead now of Arthur Jackson. Motojutis, after his joker, emerges in P3. But Nilsson is doing a fantastic job here. If you compare his line to the rest of the tyre marks, you could say that was pretty much bang average, the distance he was away from the apex. So nice work from the number 92. As he heads through the first chicane, bit of a touch, but it doesn't slow him down too much. Just 1 joker he needs to complete. As he heads in there now, nice and cleanly. Just avoiding the apex. And where is Arthur Jackson? Well, he's there, but he's not there enough. And Nilsson has done everything he needs to do. He just has to complete 3 more corners. There's 1. There's 2. And here comes number 3. Before he lines himself up for the final straight. It's quite exuberant out of the final corner, it has to be said. Arthur Jackson doing a bit of a wall ride there, just to try and get any sort of pace he can. It's not going to be enough. It was close, it wasn't enough. Nilsson wins. He will be promoted to the A final. Arthur Jackson, Carolus Motojutis after being promoted from the C final. Michael Malik and Rafael Costa, well, they are eliminated. That is the end of their season. We thank them very, very much for their participation, but that is it. We have our A final. Before we show you the grid for the A final, the final classification for that grid, we will show you the race results. It was Nilsson, the number 92, in 4 minutes 10.2 ahead of Arthur Jackson, Carolus Motojutis, our C final winner, Michael Malik, Lundqvist and Costa. Thanks so much to them for competing. They've been a brilliant show all year, and we just thank them for their attendance. Nilsson, a fastest lap of a 59.74. We're going to see him again in the A final, which will be contested between himself, Timo Sarkinen, Rick Cardle, Tim Ducknodder, Fabian Paler and Stephen Bossard. Stephen Bossard will be confirmed as our provisional, although pretty much certain, winner of this Season 3 of the MRC Rallycross Championship. And the A final coming up in just a moment's time. This is the moment we've been waiting for. The biggest showdown of the day between the 6 fastest drivers in this round. And what a set of drivers they are. Stephen Bossard, Fabian Paler and Tim Ducknodder. They have had everything this season. Timo Sarkinen as well. And season newcomers Rick Cardle and Robin Nilsson join them in the A final. Here comes the A final for the final time in Season 3 of Master Race Cars Rallycross Championship. We've really enjoyed it, and we get to enjoy it one final time. Here it comes. We have a grid. It's Robin Nilsson and Rick Cardle, who will be on the front row. Tim Ducknodder and Bossard, row 2. Sarkinen and Paler on row 3. And Tim Ducknodder, well, we have a red flag. I feel as though the grid was in the incorrect order, and it will be reset. Bear with us while we do a little bit of a test here. This next restart will not be a real restart. This is just to test that we have the grid order correct. We do not. So the grid will be reset before our final. Well, Jonathan Palmer, race control, keeping us on the edge of our seats. And there we go. We have the correct grid order. We have Stephen Bossard alongside Fabian Paler. It's Tim Ducknotter on row 2 alongside Rick Cardle. And Teemu Sarkinen joins our B final winner, Robin Nilsson, on the final row. And we're away. And it's a great start from Stephen Bossard, who is in his favourite place, the inside line for turn 1. Gets the car nicely to the inside, doesn't allow anyone to sneak past. Nilsson's trying it around the outside, surely not. He will make up a place, maybe. Yes, he has. He's made up a place on Rick Cardle and Teemu Sarkinen as we head through. Oh, goodness me, Sarkinen almost clipping the barrier in the background. But Stephen Bossard's had an amazing start. He's already opened up a gap to Paler, who's been rear-ended by Tim Ducknotter. And Paler, who was Stephen Bossard's only real adversary going into this race, has been pitched up onto 2 wheels by the rest of the cars behind. And it is Rick Cardle who emerges in P number 2 after all of that. Tim Ducknotter goes through the Joker, so too does Sarkinen and Robin Nilsson. Absolutely unbelievable. That's the first bit of car-to-car drama that we've seen pretty much all evening. And, well, Fabian Paler will do well to recover from that. He is currently in P3 and he has not served his Joker, so he has to absolutely dig deep. Stephen Bossard, dream start. It's all about getting that clean start, getting that getaway, getting it clean through turn 1. And he's got his Heat 1 rival back with him, Rick Cardle. What can he do? Can he be an upset for Stephen Bossard? Can he take away his final opportunity of a Heat win? Doesn't look like it right now. Stephen Bossard has a 2.4 second advantage in this race. Rick Cardle on his debut in the series, 2.4 seconds again. And it's Fabian Paler with that very damaged looking Shanker T16 who comes through. Doesn't take his Joker now. He needs to open up a gap. He has 2 more laps to do before he has to serve his Joker. Yeah, he needs to dig deep if he wants to open up the gap. But he's got Tim Ducknotter behind him. Tim won't let him get away. Tim wants as high a place in this final as he can get. And P3, well, that's not going to cut it for Tim. He'll want at least P2. Currently, Rick Cardle occupies P2. And there's a lot of work to go. Let's see what is going to happen in the midfield here. It sounds like Rick might have had a bit of a dodgy jump. No, he's absolutely fine. Stephen Bossard, how's he doing? Well, he's stretching his advantage. 3.1 seconds now at the front. 3.05. So let's keep our eyes then on Paler and Ducknotter. Will Paler stay out? Will he decide to do the Joker and shift Ducknotter off of his rear quarter panel? I think Faber has one choice, and that is going to be to stay out. He doesn't want to let Tim run away with this. He needs to hold him up if he can and hope for a mistake. Fabian will leave the Joker till the final lap then, as he gives a bit of a sniff to Tim Ducknotter. Tim's pretty gentle with him there. Could have gone for the big send, didn't. And well, he's being pretty kind to his rival there, as Tim taps the apex and slows himself down quite a bit. And Stephen Bossard's already at the start-finish line. There he goes. Rick Cardle follows him through, 3.08 seconds behind. This is a very, very quick race from these two. But Fabian Paler, well, he'll be wondering what on earth happened on lap 1 with Tim Ducknotter to be pitched up onto 2 wheels. Not the final race he would have wanted, but well, he's getting some action. He's getting some wheel-to-wheel action. Let's see what happens as we bring this race to a close. As Bossard heads into the Joker, he's so far ahead. He's just completing the Joker now. Rick Cardle also in the Joker. Will he come out ahead of Paler? No, he won't, because Paler's in the Joker. And Tim Ducknotter then will not manage to get past Rick Cardle. It doesn't look like anyway. But we need to focus on our leader, because in a couple of corners' time, we are going to have a new champion. Stephen Bossard has driven a basically flawless season. Final jump for him. And as he comes across to the final chicane, we are able to crown Stephen Bossard as our 2023 Season 3 MRC Rallycross Championship champion. And the donuts begin for him. He is going to win in perfect style. What an amazing heat race it was for him to get through on lap... Oh, sorry, heat number 1. He came in P2 against Rick Cardle and then won the 2 next heats and wins the A final in spectacular fashion. Massive congratulations to him. We're going to take a breather and we'll be back for some interviews and the podium. Don't go anywhere. We have some drivers on our podium. I believe we are missing a couple. But before we view the podium, let's see the results of our final race so that we round out the championship with all of the results. Stephen Bossard in 4 minutes 1, a blisteringly fast time. Rick Cardle will take P2, Tim Dicknodder P3, Sarkinen P4, Paler P5, and Nilsson in P6. And in the background, we have a full podium of drivers, which we are going to view very, very soon. And there they are. Sitting pretty, Stephen Bossard in the middle, Rick Cardle in P2 on the left, and Tim Dicknodder, the series promoter and previous season's champion, in P3. Well, what a championship it's been for those guys, and I'm pretty sure we're going to have a word with them in the commentary box soon. Let's have a word first with our £12 LFS voucher winner, number 92, Robin Nilsson. Congratulations! You had a great run today.
Yeah, that was actually quite a debut. Got drafted in like 10 minutes before the first round. Got one lap in practice, so got a bit of help from my fellow Swede Daniel. So yeah, it was nice.
Yeah, excellent. You need to contact Rick Rashitska after the round to claim your £12 voucher. I was told by Rick to remind you of that. So hopefully you do that. What did you make of it? I mean, this was your first entry into the Rallycross Championship. It is the final round, unfortunately. What did you think to the whole thing?
Super fun. Of course, a bit to get to know with the setup, the car, and the track, of course. Some of the competitors were really fierce as well. So yeah, I got a bit of a kick out of it, actually. Super fun, super fun.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you made it through to the A final, so you got the chance to drive in 2 of our finals, which must have been pretty fun. And well, you're up against some pretty fast guys, but I have to say, pretty good debut from yourself. Will we see you again?
That's the plan, of course. After this debut, you need to continue getting on with this. So I think the Saab will see me for next season as well.
Well, brilliant stuff. We look forward to that. I'm not sure when that's going to take place, but when we do, hopefully Robin Nilsson is a name we'll see on the grid from the first round. So welcome, and well, unfortunately, goodbye.
Thank you.
Have a good one. Robin Nilsson is summoned to the stewards to receive his prize from Rick Rashitska, and we're going to talk to Tim Dicknodder, who will hand his crown over to new champion Stephen Bossard. Tim, give us your thoughts on the season and today's racing as a whole. Congrats as well on P3. Tim, are you with us? Tim appears to not be with us. We will give him a moment to sort out his settings, and we'll be back with Tim in a moment's time. Tim sorted his microphone and joins us now. Tim, how's it going?
I had a great evening. I enjoyed myself a lot. Yeah, I messed up the start of the A final quite a bit, hitting Fabian in the rear, but yeah, he braked earlier than I thought he would, so I just couldn't avoid it. I got locked wheels and then hit in the back, and I hope he doesn't blame me too much.
Yeah, it was a shame. It had to be said because that pitched Fabian up onto his wheels. Yeah, just give us your thoughts on the championship as a whole, Tim, before we talk to our new champion, Stephen Bossard.
Yeah, I knew from the start, when inviting Steven and Fabian, I wouldn't become a champion again. But I enjoyed myself racing them, and I hope they enjoyed themselves as well. And I hope to see them next year as well.
Well, let's get the thoughts of those guys, and we'll return to you at the end, Tim. Thanks very much. Stephen Bossard, you are the Season 3 champion. How does it feel?
Yeah, thank you. Oh, it's really nice. I didn't expect that for when I joined the championship, but yeah, I'm quite happy, and I enjoyed a lot the championship with lots of good drivers. So and nice fight. So it was nice races. Yeah.
Yeah, we have the final championship graphics on the broadcast right now. You won the championship with 94 points ahead of Tim, who finishes in P2. Timo Sarkinen finishes P3 overall, and Fabian Paler in P4. Yeah, you drove a pretty flawless round. Only Rick Cardle got in your way in the first heat tonight, Stephen. Rick Cardle is mighty fast in other forms of motorsport in LFS, but a newcomer here today for the championship. You must have had a bit of sweat on your brow after heat 1.
Yeah, for sure. When we saw the times he put during the race, we started to be a bit worried. But so it's really nice to get newcomers like this and to be able to fight for the top of the podium. So yeah, I was a bit scared, but finally I got two nice hits after that. I guess he got some trouble, so I managed to make the gap.
Yeah, we noticed that you had the tightest line of anybody going into turn 1, and that seemed to be really crucial. Everyone else was going quite wide through turn 1, so it looks like that's where you had an advantage every lap over every other driver. I'm sure they're all going to watch it back and learn from you, and it's going to make for a pretty exciting season 4. Do you think you'll be back?
Yeah, surely I will come back. So I will wait for the dates, but thanks to everyone to organize the championship. It was really nice to be back on LFS. It's been a while, so hopefully we'll be back and with lots of drivers.
Yeah, well, it's great to have you back, and I echo that sentiment. I hope that we can make season 4 a season that is full of drivers, and we get some big grids and lots of racing. Because yeah, I think the format deserves it. I think the organisers deserve it certainly. So we hope that is the case. Tim, you took P2 overall in the championship, mate. You've got to feel pretty good about that in the end.
Yeah, it was a tight battle with Timo. I knew it from the start it would be close.
It was close, 1 point. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, and I tried my best to just stay in front of him. That's why I also didn't fought Fabian when he had to still do his joker. I just kept in mind I just need to finish in front of Timo, and I got it. And yeah, I didn't take any risks anymore, and it paid off. So I'm happy.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. I want to have a word quickly with Fabian. Fabian, it's P4 overall. Not the final you wanted today, obviously, with the incident, but give us your thoughts on the round as a whole and the championship.
Yeah, the championship is really very fun. It's very nice, like Steven said, to be back on LFS. It's yeah, it's a sim that I really love, and it's very good that you guys are organizing such a nice championship, and it was really enjoyable to drive there. Tonight was very I was struggling a lot because I didn't have any time to train at all during the week, so I had no setup, no training at all. So yeah, it was quite a challenge, but I managed to improve my pace lap after lap, and in the end, I think I was quite the same pace as Steven. But yeah, unfortunately, in the final, I got hit by Tim, so it ruined all of my final. And then my car was completely destroyed, so I had no pace anymore. But yeah, anyway, it was a fun track. The layout was very nice, very fun. So it was a nice night.
Yeah, it's a fun one. It's definitely one of the more tricky tracks that Tim's presented. But I feel as though it's the most Rallycross-esque track that is on the calendar. It's got everything. It's got jumps. It's got dirt into tarmac, tarmac into dirt. Good stuff. And yeah, P4 overall in the championship, Fabian. I'll ask the same question I asked Stephen. Are we going to see you back to try and climb higher in the championship?
Yeah, sure, definitely. It was very nice, and we will try to make some other French guys join as well, because we have a lot of friends who really like Life for Speed in the past and who are also very fast. So we will try to bring back some fast guys.
Yeah, that would be absolutely brilliant. Tim, you want to say anything to those comments?
That means I will be further back in the champ, but I welcome all drivers that want to join and just have fun with us and bring some good races. Because this is what I enjoy the most about LFS. Just pick up a wheel, you start a race, and you just have fun.
Yeah, well, LFS can give you your best bang for buck for fun, that's for sure. I tried to bully Teemu Sarkinen into coming for an interview, but he doesn't want to do it. He's too shy, he says. So we won't be hearing from him, unfortunately. But from Stephen, from Fabian, from Tim Nodder and Robin Nilsson, that is all she wrote for season 3. I'll thank everybody in the commentary box for their interviews throughout the season. It's been great to have you along, and we hope to see you for season 4. Thanks again to Tim for putting it on. So yeah, cheers, folks.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night. We'll see those guys next season for, hopefully for season 4 of the championship. And that leaves me to wrap up the broadcast by reading down the full championship standings. Stephen Bossard is your season 3 champion ahead of Tim Ducknodder, Teemu Sarkinen, Fabian Paler, Daniel Lundqvist, Sindra Silva, Michael Malek, Yassin Badal, Roni Krompush, and David Godge, the top 10. Then it's Rafael Costa, Roni Hopiavuri, Miguel Leandro, Arthur Jackson, Jonathan Paler, Miguel Leandro, Sergei Stilov, Alexandra Thiel, Agostini de Silva, and Jelly Ducknodder in P20. And that is all of the results we have to show. 20 drivers in our standings. The full final driver championship standings will be uploaded onto the Live for Speed forum by Tim later on. But from all of us at the Sim Broadcasts team, we've really, really enjoyed putting this season together for you. We hope you enjoyed it, and we hope that if you aren't viewing it next season, that you are competing. It's a brilliant format. It's sharp. It's snappy. Quick turnaround, quick racing, some real pedigree on the grid, as you've seen, some really, really fast talent. And we hope to see you as part of it for season 4, whenever that happens. So from all of us here at Sim Broadcasts, to all of you, we hope you have a great evening, and we'll see you when we see you at the next edition of the Master Race Car Rallycross Championship. Thanks, of course, to New Dimension Racing for sanctioning and supporting this event. Jonathan Palmer on race direction tonight. Thanks to Chris McElroy, who's put together the cameras and is doing all of the direction in my ears during the broadcasts. And thank all of you for watching. Final thanks go to Tim Ducknodder, the series promoter and organizer, and the whole of the MRC team for continuing to believe in us to put this production together and to bring you coverage of their events. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you for watching. See you at the next one. Good night.